Hi Redeemer, welcome to this week's 3-minute FAQ. This is the first of such videos. What I'm intending to do is keep it under 3 minutes and just address things that have come up recently or over the years, just things that people want to know about what we believe and why, or practices, why we do things, and just take that opportunity to fill you in. And I am committed to keeping them under 3 minutes, which means if I don't get what I want to say out, we'll just we'll do a second part on it. So let's cut to the chase. The question: why don't I usually preach line by line, verse by verse? And so yeah, let's spend a little time there. It's true, I don't usually do that, and the question is why. But let's maybe set some background for that. What is that? Line by line, verse by verse preaching, like what it sounds, is where you literally just move through a text and you read a line or a verse, and then you teach on it, and so forth. And you do that as you just move through the entire text. It's a form of expository preaching. Expository preaching is basically an approach to preaching that says the main point of the passage should be the main point of your sermon, and the main point of the passage should shape then the main flow of your sermon. So there's a very strong connection to the shape and the main point of the passage and the shape and the main point of your sermon. I certainly have been trained in that. That was the method that I've come up around mostly. Most of the pastors and the churches and the seminaries that I've been to are promoters of that. I've also listened to a lot of people that do things differently, like Tim Keller doesn't necessarily do expository preaching. John Piper sometimes does, sometimes doesn't. And I think I would say align more with where John Piper is. It just kind of depends on the text and the goal of what I'm trying to achieve. So line by line, verse by verse preaching, or expository preaching in general, I think is good, born out of good motivations to protect the integrity of the truth, to highlight the authority of the Scripture, to attempt to guard the pastor or the preacher from his own error, and so it's born out of good motivations, and I get it. So if that's the case, then why don't I do it? Well, I'm pushing up against 3 minutes, and so there's a little bit of intro into what it is, and next week I'll share some thoughts on why I don't. I've got about 5 reasons why, but I'll give you a sneak peek at one of them, and it's this: it's not biblical. So there it is, just enough to start a little trouble. And what I mean by that, it's not what I see modeled in the Scriptures when Jesus and the apostles teach the Bible. So stay tuned. We'll talk a little more about that. All right? Have a good week.